Boom. You're officially 20 weeks pregnant, halfway there. But let's be real. Did pregnancy just get weird for you? Maybe your belly popped overnight, or you just realized you can't roll over in bed without grunting like a 90-year-old grandma. And what's up with those random baby kicks that feel like gas bubbles, huh? Well, buckle up, mama, because this week is a big deal. Your baby is doing things you won't believe, like drinking their own pee. We're going there. And your body is changing in wild ways too. So stick around because I'm also spilling the number one thing most moms forget to do at 20 weeks that can make breastfeeding so much easier after birth. So, you know what I'm going to say. Grab your snack, your blankie, your favorite drink, non alcoholic, of course. Meet me on the couch pronto. Let's get this going. All right, your baby is now the size of a sweet potato. And just like a sweet potato, they're starting to fill out a little more, getting longer and stronger every day. But here's where it gets even cooler. Here's what's happening inside your belly. They're swallowing amniotic fluid, aka we call it baby soup, full of nutrients. I know it's a lot, but wait for it. They also pee it out and drink it again. A little gross, but hey, it's practice for digestion. Also, they can hear you well now. We've talked about this in previous weeks, including last week, but I want to reiterate it because it's important. So if you've been ranting about your cravings to your partner, your baby may be listening like, all right, mom, chill on the pickles, because they can hear you. Also, your baby actually has hair now. Some babies even have a full mane already. So, can we say hello to that heartburn? All right. Another thing is that they are starting to move like crazy. But here's the catch. If this is your first baby, those early kicks might just feel like tiny popcorn pops, or a goldfish swimming, or just gas, but a little fancier. So here's a question I have for you. Have you felt your baby move yet? Comment below. I want to know, what did it feel like for you? All right, let's talk about you. We've talked about the baby. Now it's your turn. Your body is doing the most right now. Let's start with that round ligament pain. You may be wondering, why does it feel like your belly is stretching apart? Well, you may have been getting sharp, sudden pains on the side of your belly. And I'm going to say, congratulations. Your uterus is expanding like a balloon. That means your baby is growing well and your body is starting to accommodate that growth. So here's some things that can help this week. I want you to move slowly whenever you're changing positions instead of abrupt movements, which can really cause some sharp pains. Also, you might consider wearing belly bands. They are real game changers, especially at this point of your pregnancy and moving forward. And the last thing I want to recommend in regards to that round ligament pain is stretching and warm baths. I talked about doing some pregnancy stretches last week. Did you do your homework? Have you been stretching? If so, I want you to continue those this week, as well as some warm baths. You deserve it, and it will definitely help with that abdominal stretching. All right, let's talk about the baby kicks. You thought your baby kicks would be cute little thumps, but instead it may feel like a fish flopping around inside of you, a cell phone vibrating in your stomach, or maybe some gas? Well, do not stress, my friend. Those tiny flutters will turn into big ninja kicks soon. So just brace yourself. All right, now I want to pivot a bit and talk about some dizziness and lightheadedness because you may start to feel a little faint at times. And I want to explain what's going on here. And here's the deal: your blood volume has increased by 50%. Your heart is working overtime. I've mentioned this in previous videos. So, something that I want you to consider is, well, what can we do about that dizziness? First of all, I talked about moving slowly in regards to those round ligament pains, but those slow movements is also going to help you as you are getting up, moving from being seated to standing. That will help your body to adjust if you do it slowly, and it will allow you to get your bearings. The second thing I want you to try this week is to keep light snacks handy and to snack often. It really helps when you can stabilize your blood sugar and not have these spikes of going too long in between eating. And so it dips low and then spikes up. And so having a steady blood sugar is important. And the way we can do that, at least by our diet, is having healthy snacks at the ready. So keep that in mind. And the last thing, y'all, I have said it so much, you probably feel like I'm a broken record, but I have to because it's absolutely important. Do you know what I'm going to say? Yes, my friend. Hydrate. Hydrate like it is your job, because it is, at least for the next 20 weeks or so. In fact, here is a fun fact for you. Did you know that dehydration can make Braxton Hicks contractions start early? Yeah. So I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Drink up, my friend. All right, so 20 weeks isn't just about growing your baby. It's also about getting ready. And here's your checklist for this week. First up, I want you to schedule your 20-week anatomy scan if you've not already had it, so that you have it in the next upcoming days or the next few weeks. This is the big ultrasound. It's where they can check your baby's heart and brain, spine, and the organs. And also, if you want to know the gender, this is your moment. All right. Step 2 of that checklist, I want you to start thinking about birth and breastfeeding. Now, wait, don't roll your eyes with, oh no, here she goes again. Listen, now is the best time to start prepping. You wouldn't run a marathon without training first, right? Well, birth and breastfeeding work the same way. So start doing what you can to start preparing now. All right, the third thing I want you to do is to get a pregnancy pillow. Y'all, trust me, it is worth the investment. You'll thank me later. Sleeping on your side is now the safest option, and a pregnancy pillow makes it 1,000 times more comfortable. So it's definitely worth the investment. All right, I've already mentioned hydration before. Water is super important when we talk about keeping your amniotic fluid healthy. And we've already talked about what your baby does with it. So keeping it healthy is imperative. And the way to do that is to drink water. It also prevents headaches and even constipation. So water is going to be your best friend now and in the coming weeks. Okay, so now let's have some real talk. Moms usually wait until after birth to figure out how to breastfeed. I talked about this before, and I'm going to keep pounding it in on you because I want you to be ready. I want you to have an empowered and confident birth. And part of that is doing the prep work up front. Instead of waiting until after birth to hop into breastfeeding and all of the things, right? That's when you will likely be exhausted, right? From not sleeping well with a new baby on a newborn schedule, as we like to say. You may be in pain depending on the type of birth that you have. And above everything else, moms are often overwhelmed right after the baby is born. There's so much going on. It's definitely not the best time to start learning. I'm just being real. So here is what most people don't tell you. They don't tell you that breastfeeding is a skill, it's not an instinct. So the more you practice it, the better you'll be. Most newborns need help latching correctly because they need training too. Also, learning now means that you can start strong instead of struggling later. That's why I created Teach Me How to Breastfeed. Inside, you're going to learn how to get a deep and pain-free latch, how to boost your milk supply from day one, and how to avoid common breastfeeding mistakes. So if you haven't already, please check the link below. I want to help you get started. All right, you are halfway there, mama. Baby is growing, your body is working hard, and you're doing an amazing job. Let me say that again. We're going to save some space right here for you because you're the real MVP. You're doing an amazing job. If this video has helped you, please like it so that other new moms can find it as well. Be sure to hit the subscribe button because next up is 21 weeks pregnant. What's changing and what you need to know, so don't miss it. And don't forget, check the link below for a bunch of resources to help you start preparing for your birth and breastfeeding journey today. All right, I'll see you in the next video.